welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to do a top 5 holiday reads for this particular piece. So if you're interested in winning any of the books that I featured in my reading list, please just head over to the website, which you can see below in the description. Leave your email details, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pull some names out of the hat. And so, yeah, if you kind of, enter and win, you might be getting a book coming your way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk through my top 5 holiday reads. I used to only ever really read on holiday. So going back sort of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, I used to read a lot on holiday. I'd probably typically in a 2-week holiday, I would read about 7 books in that whole time. So lots and lots and lots of books. I've kind of just picked out a selection of my favourite ones for different reasons. But as we're kind of coming close to the holidays, I thought just focus on holiday reads. So, it can't all be about work and business. We all need a bit of downtime. So I've got my top 5. I'm going to do them in reverse order. And I'm going to start off with, this is the original Sex and the City book by Candace Bushnell. I always think, for the holidays when you're trying to wind down, you can't really go wrong with a bit of chick lit, to be honest. So if you're a fan of the series, then I would definitely recommend the book to you. It's very much like the old pilot series, so very much like series 1, maybe kind of a bit like series 2. It's not going to be very much like the film, so if you're only into the Sex and the City films, don't bother with this book. But if you like the writing of the series and kind of like the wits behind it, then yeah, I think you'd love it. And it's just kind of like a good fun read. So when I go on holiday, I always like my first book to be something that doesn't take a lot of brain power and you can kind of just wind down to, and this would really be one of those books. So yeah, Sex and the City by Candace Bushnell, initial CB, aka Carrie Bradshaw, because obviously it was based on her own story as a journalist, yeah. The second book, another chick lit book. So imagine I'm on a 2-week holiday. This is probably like about day 3, so I'm still trying to wind down from the week of work, and so I'm on to now Sophie Kinsella, and this is the book that's called The Secret Dream World of a Shopaholic. I think it was called something else when it first came out. But anyway, I started reading these Shopaholic books years ago, I think when they first came out, because I used to be a bit of a shopaholic. What I found hilarious about this book is you can actually identify, if you are a shopaholic, you will identify with this book. So things like, for example, where she spots, I don't know, an Hermes scarf, and then she suddenly decides she needs to have an Hermes scarf. If you kind of live your life a little bit like that, you will kind of enjoy these books, and they're actually really funny as well. So Sophie Kinsella, I know, has gone on to write many more really funny, witty books. But Shopaholic is kind of like the original, and also basically in the series there are, I don't even know how many. I mean, I read lots of the Shopaholic books. So Shopaholic gets married, Shopaholic has a baby, Shopaholic and her sister. It's like a whole series. So again, if you just like your holiday reads just to wind down, then the Shopaholic series by Sophie Kinsella is really funny. It's kind of the one to do it to. Slightly more serious, so from Shopaholic to Barack Obama. I really love biographies, so that's kind of like the other genre that I like to read when I'm on holiday, whether that's business books, I like them as biographies, or just, kind of just inspiring life stories. And this Barack Obama book was written before he was president, and it's basically about him kind of discovering more about his background, discovering about his father, and kind of traveling back to Kenya to find out more about his heritage and his roots. So it's just a really good book. And obviously if you're a fan of Barack Obama, and let's face it, who, so I definitely recommend this one. Really great biography, one that I really enjoyed, and really well written, of course, because he's such a smart guy. Yeah. Down to my last 2. My second one again is a biography. Now, to be honest, as a holiday read, given how big this is as hardback, it's pretty difficult to fit in the bag. My daughter actually bought me this as a present because she knew how much of a fan I was of Apple products and of Steve Jobs. So she bought me the book. I absolutely loved it, really loved the book. I'm not gonna lie, I think when you read the story behind it, it won't necessarily make you a fan of Steve Jobs. I think, he had some interesting characteristics and interesting traits. But you cannot deny the genius of the guy and the inspiration in terms of what he's done with the brand. And if you love Apple products, and who doesn't love an Apple product, unless you're just being awkward. You really love the book because I guess he talks about some of the creative thinking that's gone into the way things like iPhones, etc. have been developed. So yeah, Steve Jobs' biography, which goes all the way from, you know, kind of the start all the way to the end. It's by Walter Isaacson, who has done some amazing biographies, actually, a really smart journalist. So I would definitely recommend that. A really good gift as well, actually, if you know somebody that's a big fan of Apple products that likes to read. And then my top holiday read, which was one of my most recent ones as well, is called Born to Run, and it's by Christopher McDougall. And I read this last year after I had quite a bad knee injury that meant I couldn't run anymore, and it was really getting me down, actually, because for me running was something that I would do to do a lot of processing, so to process my thoughts, and I couldn't run and I was feeling pretty down, and I just thought there's got to be a way around this. So I kind of Googled a few things, and a lot of people were pointing to the book by this guy who basically had himself had some injuries and then had looked into different ways of running, and ended up kind of tracking down this hidden tribe called the Tarahumara, which he goes and kind of like, you know, stays with, and then kind of organises like a massive ultra race. So it's just a really cool book. I listened to the audio book, which was really, really cool. But it's a great book, and it's not just about running, it's about good running technique, but it's also just a really good story. So it's about this tribe that kind of just do their own thing. They run for miles and miles and miles, pretty much, you know, they're not wearing like cushioned Nikes or anything. They're wearing like, kind of like a flat leather sandal, and that's what they're running, and they literally run 40, 50, 60 miles. So if you're into running, you would love it. You've probably heard of it already. And if you just want a really good story with, like, you know, lots of entertainment value, then this is the book. So this is why it's my #1 holiday read, because it's kind of got something for everything. So yeah, that's it. That's my top 5. So like I say, if you want to get hold of one of those, want to be in it to win it kind of thing, just head over to the website, leave your email address. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to kind of see more of what's on my reading list, what I read to wind down, what I read to get motivated, inspired, etc. And also some other stuff on the channel that we'll be doing in terms of conversation with people. So, you know, we're all kind of about things that will kind of make a difference, change lives. Just, yeah, subscribe here, kind of join in. Let me know what you're enjoying, leave your feedback. It'd be great to hear from you. Thanks, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.